lesson is about the deep ocean, its fading light, immense pressure, living darkness, hidden landscapes, and the patient life far below the surface. So sit back, get comfortable, and let yourself descend slowly. You can listen like a researcher, or simply drift with the sound of the lesson. Tonight, we are going to descend very slowly into the deep ocean. We will leave the bright surface behind and move downward through blue water, dim light, cold currents, and quiet pressure. The deep ocean is not empty. It is one of the largest living spaces on Earth, and much of it remains difficult to observe directly. The ocean is often described in zones. Near the surface is the sunlight zone, also called the epipelagic zone. Here, sunlight can support photosynthesis. Phytoplankton drift in the water, forming the base of marine food webs. Fish, turtles, whales, seabirds, and many familiar forms of ocean life depend, directly or indirectly, on this upper layer. Below that is the twilight zone, or mesopelagic zone, roughly from 200 to 1,000 meters deep. Sunlight fades here. It is too dim for photosynthesis, but not completely dark at the upper levels. Many animals in this zone migrate upward at night to feed, then return downward by day. This daily vertical migration is one of the largest animal movements on Earth, though much of it is hidden from human view. Deeper still is the midnight zone, or bathypelagic zone. Here, sunlight is gone, the water is cold, food is scarce, pressure is immense. At 1,000 meters, the pressure is about 100 times the pressure at the surface. Yet life continues. Animals here often conserve energy. Some have slow metabolisms, soft bodies, large mouths, sensitive eyes, or no eyes at all. One of the most beautiful features of deep sea life is bioluminescence. Many organisms can produce light through chemical reactions. This light can be used to attract prey, confuse predators, communicate or blend in with faint light from above. In the dark ocean, light becomes a language. Below the midnight zone is the abyssal zone, stretching across vast plains of the seafloor. The abyssal plains are among the flattest and least explored landscapes on Earth. Fine sediments settle slowly from above, including the remains of tiny organisms, dust, and minerals. This slow fall of particles is sometimes called marine snow. At the deepest trenches is the Hadal zone, named after Hades, the Greek underworld. These trenches can reach more than 10,000 meters deep. The Mariana Trench is the most famous example. Even there, life has been found, microorganisms, small invertebrates, and animals adapted to pressure that would crush most surface organisms. For a long time, scientists assumed that deep-sea ecosystems depended almost entirely on food falling from the sunlit surface. Then, in 1977, researchers exploring near the Galapagos Rift found hydrothermal vents. These vents release hot, mineral-rich water from beneath the seafloor. Around them were dense communities of life, tube worms, clams, mussels, crabs, and bacteria. The base of these vent ecosystems is chemosynthesis. Instead of using sunlight, certain bacteria use chemical energy, such as hydrogen sulfide, to produce organic matter. This discovery changed our understanding of where life can thrive. It suggested that life does not always need sunlight directly. It needs an energy source, chemistry, and time. The deep ocean also affects the whole planet. It stores heat and carbon. It helps shape climate. Deep currents move water around the globe in slow circulation patterns. The ocean absorbs a large share of the heat added to Earth's climate system and also absorbs carbon dioxide, changing ocean chemistry. Human activity now reaches even the deep sea. Plastic particles, fishing gear, noise, chemical pollution, and interest in deep sea mining all affect places that once seemed beyond us. Because deep sea life often grows slowly and reproduces slowly, damage can take a long time to heal. Exploring the deep ocean is difficult. Submersibles, remotely operated vehicles, sonar mapping, pressure-resistant instruments, and research ships all help us see more. But the ocean is vast. We have mapped the seafloor in growing detail, yet direct human observation remains limited. Each expedition can reveal new species, new behaviours, and new questions. There is something calming about remembering how much of Earth is still quiet and dark, not empty, not lifeless, but simply distant from ordinary human attention. The deep ocean asks us to be patient. It asks us to listen carefully, to move slowly, to accept that discovery can happen in silence. So tonight, imagine a research vessel resting on a dark surface far above. Below it, a small light descends. The water turns from blue to indigo to black. Small living lights appear and disappear. Far below, warm mineral water rises from the seafloor like smoke. In the darkness, life continues, soft and strange and ancient. As we drift a little longer, we can think about the animals that make the deep ocean feel almost dreamlike. Some fish have expandable stomachs, allowing them to swallow rare meals larger than expected. Some have delicate bodies because there is no need to resist waves or sunlight. Some use red or black coloration, which can make them nearly invisible in a world where red light does not travel far. The anglerfish is one of the most famous deep-sea animals, with a glowing lure used to attract prey, but it is only one example of a much wider pattern. In the deep sea, survival often depends on patience. Energy is precious. Meals may be separated by long periods of waiting. A successful adaptation is not always speed or strength. Sometimes it is stillness, sensitivity, or the ability to make a tiny light in the dark. Sound also behaves differently in the ocean. Water carries sound efficiently, and many marine animals depend on it. Whales can communicate across long distances. Human noise from ships, sonar, and industrial activity can travel through marine environments too. Even when we cannot see the deep ocean, we may still be heard by it. The seafloor itself is varied. There are plains, ridges, seamounts, canyons, trenches, and cold seeps. Seamounts can rise like underwater mountains, creating habitats where currents bring nutrients and life gathers. Submarine canyons can channel sediment and organic matter from continental shelves into deeper water. The ocean floor is not a flat emptiness, it is a landscape. Cold seeps are another remarkable habitat. Unlike hydrothermal vents, they do not release extremely hot water. Instead, chemicals such as methane or hydrogen sulfide seep from the seafloor, supporting communities of bacteria, clams, mussels, and tube worms. Again, chemistry becomes a foundation for life, where sunlight cannot reach. Scientists also study deep-sea sediments as records of Earth's history. Layer by layer, tiny shells, mineral grains, volcanic ash, and chemical signals settle onto the seafloor. Cores drilled from these sediments can tell stories about past climates, ocean circulation, extinctions, and changes in ice sheets. The deep ocean is not only a habitat, it is an archive. There is still much to learn about how deep-sea ecosystems recover from disturbance. Some deep corals and sponges may live for centuries or longer. Their growth can be extremely slow. A trawl mark, a mining scar, or a damaged coral garden may remain visible for a long time. Because the deep ocean feels remote, it can be easy to imagine it as separate from us. But it is connected to climate, food webs, carbon cycles, and the health of the planet. Exploration continues carefully. Each camera descent can reveal small wonders: a transparent animal drifting like glass, a field of brittle stars, a Dumbo octopus moving with ear-like fins, a fish resting on the bottom as if waiting for nothing in particular. These images are reminders that nature does not need an audience to be intricate, so now let the descent become slower still. The surface is far above. The light from the vehicle is soft and narrow. Particles pass through it like snow. The deep ocean does not hurry. It receives what falls. It keeps its archives. It shelters small lights, and in its quiet pressure, the planet continues breathing in the dark. And now, as a final calm summary, the deep ocean is a world of zones, pressure, darkness, chemistry, and adaptation. It begins below the familiar blue surface and continues into places where sunlight never arrives. Yet even there, life has found ways to wait, glow, drift, feed, and build communities. The deep sea reminds us that Earth is still partly unknown. It is not far away like another planet, but it is difficult to reach, slow to reveal itself, and easy to misunderstand. To learn about it is to practice patience. To protect it is to remember that hidden places still belong to the living world. One final descent takes us not downward, but inward into scale. The deep ocean is enormous, yet many of its most important processes are tiny. Bacteria transform chemicals near vents and seeps. Plankton shells fall grain by grain. Carbon moves through bodies, water, and sediment. A single particle of marine snow may be small, but billions of such particles help feed the dark. This is why the deep sea can feel peaceful and humbling at the same time. It is not built around human speed. It is built around pressure, drift, chemistry, and long duration. A whale fall, when the body of a whale sinks to the seafloor, can support communities of organisms for years. What is an ending near the surface becomes a beginning below. So as we leave the deep ocean, imagine the water column above you like a quiet cathedral of blue and black. Imagine light fading, pressure increasing, life changing shape, and the seafloor waiting below. The lesson is simple and large. Even where the world seems darkest, it is still active, connected, and alive. Before we return to the surface, we can pause with the tools that let humans visit this world at all. A deep-sea vehicle must resist pressure that would crush ordinary equipment. Its lights must reveal enough for cameras without overwhelming the darkness. Its arms must be delicate enough to collect fragile life, but strong enough to work in cold, heavy water. Every descent is a negotiation with depth. Mapping the seafloor is another quiet achievement. Ships use sonar to measure depth and shape. Satellites can help infer broad patterns from the surface, but detailed maps still require careful measurement. Bit by bit, ridges, trenches, seamounts, and plains become visible. The map of Earth is still being completed from below. Samples matter too. A bottle of deep water can carry chemical clues. A sediment core can preserve layers of time. A small animal collected carefully can reveal a species never described before. A temperature reading near a vent can help explain a whole community. Deep sea science is often slow because each piece of evidence is difficult to obtain, ocean teaches a different tempo. Currents move through long paths, sediments settle gently. Some animals wait rather than chase. Some ecosystems grow around chemical sources that have been active for decades, centuries, or longer. The deep sea is not inactive, it is patient. So now we rise in imagination. The darkness becomes blue again, the pressure lessens, the small lights disappear beneath us, but the deep ocean remains below, holding its vents, plains, trenches, archives, and living constellations. It continues whether we are watching or not, and that may be the most calming thought of all. For a final quiet thought, consider how the deep ocean connects opposites. It is remote, yet connected to the air through climate. It is dark, yet full of living light. It is cold, yet warmed in places by the heat of the earth. It is slow, yet constantly moving through currents, migrations, sinking particles, and chemical exchange. This makes the deep ocean feel less like a separate world and more like a hidden half of our own. Every coastline leads to it eventually. Every river is part of its story. Every breath we take belongs, in some way, to the planetary systems that the ocean helps regulate. So we can end not with fear of the deep, but with respect. Below the waves, beyond the sunlight, there are landscapes no human eye has seen, animals no one has named, and quiet processes that keep Earth balanced. The surface settles, the research vessel drifts, and far beneath it, in the patient dark, the ocean keeps its own soft time. I want to thank you for listening to Whisper University. If you made it all the way to the end, I'm very glad you are here. I hope tonight's quiet lesson helped you relax, learn something new, or simply drift for a little while in a calmer direction. If you enjoyed this whispered lecture, you can support Whisper University by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, or leaving a gentle comment with a topic you would like to hear next. It helps this little university grow and helps us keep making the world a little more relaxed and a little more curious through ASMR. Until the next quiet lesson, take care, breathe slowly and rest well.